There was something special about those Sunday dinners where everybody showed up tired from the week, but somehow left feeling recharged just from hearing each other laugh around the table again. I just remember those Sunday dinners being awesome, and my mom would always just have the best cooking, and it was generally just a really good experience. But um, I still think about those nights sitting in the living room with my family watching The Walking Dead together, and everybody reacting to the crazy moments at the same time, like it was our own little tradition. And some of my favorite memories are just the simple ones where nobody is trying to impress anybody. We were all just comfortable enough to sit around joking, eating good food, and enjoying each other's company. And spending time with my cousin Justin in Pennsylvania, it always felt different in the best way possible because no matter how much time passed, we could pick up right back up like we never skipped a beat. And there's something unforgettable about the late night conversations with family where you start talking about random memories and suddenly hours have passed without anybody even noticing. I'll always cherish sitting outside with my brother having a few beers and talking about life, the future, our goals, and wondering where we'd end up years from now. Like getting together with my brother, I would always just talk about YouTube and like how we could rank our videos and how we could get an influx of traffic to like and get monetized and stuff like that. Like there's tons of ways to do that, and I plan on actually doing that for this channel and growing this channel. Maybe we can hit 100,000 subscribers, and maybe one day I can give my brother a good editing job, or just hire him for some reason to assist with the channel so that we can make this a well-oiled machine. But family get-togethers taught me that happiness doesn't always come from huge achievements, because sometimes it's just hearing familiar voices filling up the room again. Some of the best moments in life happen completely unplanned when everybody's just naturally gathered, like around the table. And, I miss the excitement of everyone deciding what food we were going to order or cook while somebody always made jokes in the background trying to make everyone laugh. Watching shows together as a family made every episode feel bigger because everybody had their own opinions. They had their own theories, they had their own reactions, and, that turned into an experience instead of just television. And my mom was also really obsessed with Andrew Lincoln. Like she just thinks he's the hottest guy in the world, which I think is hilarious. But it's very sweet though. But there's a comfort that comes from being around the people who knew you when you were younger and still treat you with the same love, no matter how much life changes. And I'll never forget those long conversations with Justin where we just talked about, The Sims, and we talked about playing video games and just life in general. I mean, we were kids at the time, so it wasn't like super deep conversations, but we had a really fun time. And he's actually talking about coming back and visiting us, and I think that would be really cool. But some nights with my brother felt almost therapeutic because we'd talk honestly about fears, our dreams, and everything we wanted for our future while just relaxing together. Family dinners always reminded me that no matter how stressful life gets outside the house, there's still a place where you can feel grounded again. And, I loved hearing the older stories come out during gatherings because somehow the same stories still made everybody laugh every single time. We just shared so many good memories and good times and laughter, and, we'd be loud and crazy, and it was just really fun. Some of the strongest bonds are built during ordinary moments, like sitting on the couch together, watching TV while everybody slowly drifts into a comfortable conversation. And I think people underestimate how healing it can be to simply sit in a room surrounded by people who genuinely care about you. And there was always that one moment during get togethers where everybody started laughing so hard nobody could even finish talking anymore. My mom would always make me laugh, and my kid would always do funny stuff to make me laugh, and we generally just had a really good time. Um, and, spending time in Pennsylvania with Justin always gave me a sense of peace because family has a way of making unfamiliar places feel like home. And, I'll always appreciate those evenings where me and my brother could just relax, crack open a few beers, and talk honestly about life without judgment and just scheme about the future and scheme about growing our YouTube channels. Um, and back to the Sunday dinners, they were never just about food because they became memories that stayed with me long after the plates were cleaned up. And I miss how everybody would settle into the living room getting ready for another episode of Walking Dead like it was an event we all looked forward together. And, some family conversations started as jokes and somehow turned into deep discussions about life, growing older and trying to find happiness. And there's something powerful about hearing multiple generations laughing together in the same room because it reminds you of how connected everybody's life really is. And I learned that the quality time doesn't need to be expensive or complicated because some of the best memories cost absolutely nothing. And, some nights with family felt so peaceful that I wish I could freeze those moments forever and go back to them whenever life feels overwhelming. And, I loved how comfortable everything felt during family get-togethers because nobody had to pretend to be somebody they weren't. You could just be yourself and hang out and enjoy the atmosphere and just good company in general. And, even small traditions like gathering together every Sunday became huge memories once enough time has passed. I look back to those memories and I'm so grateful that, I've gotten to have those memories and gotten to have those experiences with my family. And back to Justin, always spending time with him, it just reminded me how important cousins can be because sometimes they feel like your brother. And we had so many good memories together and we'd eat good food and play games together. And he's the one that actually introduced me to The Sims. And I actually played a good bit of The Sims last year. And it was a really fun experience. I wasn't really able to play much other games because of just the way my brain was operating. But, I actually get to talk to him on Facebook a lot and like reconnect with him. And I just thought that was really cool. And, there's nothing like talking about the future with your brother late at night and realizing both of you are just trying to your best to figure life out together. And, family gatherings made me realize how important it is to slow down and appreciate people while they're still here with us. And some of the funniest moments happened when everybody started roasting each other jokingly and nobody could stop laughing. And yeah, like my mom she would always roast. My grandfather was the king of roasting. He would always roast me. But I always appreciate how easy it was to feel accepted around my family during those get-togethers because there was never pressure to be perfect. Watching television together sounds simple, but those shared reactions and conversations created memories that lasted for years. And some conversations with my brother started out talking about random things and somehow turned into motivational talks about life and goals. Like one thing I would talk about a lot with my brother is like YouTube and how we're going to grow this channel and how we can actually make it our jobs one day. And I think that would be really cool. And I have the knowledge. I studied internet marketing for like 10 years. I haven't been applying any of those promotional techniques, but I will start doing that. And as soon as, I get my finances in order and stuff like that, I'll start promoting with Google Ads and stuff like that. And, start trying to get like an influx of views and like really build this community. And that's really what we talk about a lot, like when we're having our little get together. But family dinners always had this energy where no matter how bad your mood was beforehand, you pretty much ended up smiling by the end of the night. And, it was good times. And, spending time with Justin in Pennsylvania reminded me how important it is to keep strong connections with family, no matter how far apart everybody lives. I miss hearing everybody talk over each other while trying to tell stories because that chaos, it somehow felt comforting. And, my family that I grew up with, my immediate family, has always been pretty loud. So, loud people make me feel very comfortable and at home. But yeah, some of my happiest memories, they involved nothing more than sitting around with family, while music or television played in the background. And we were just enjoying each other's company. And, there's a certain kind of peace that comes with realizing you're surrounded by people who genuinely want the best for you. And I'll always remember those moments where me and my brother talked about the future like we had all the time in the world ahead of us. But, family traditions may seem small while they're happening, but later they become the moments you hold on to the tightest, those little memories at the end of the day. You'll look back, when it's like time to pass away, and you'll really remember all those little moments that you got to share with people. And, it's really important to hang on to that and to cherish that. And, I just loved how naturally conversations flowed during get-togethers because nobody needed entertainment when everybody enjoyed each other's presence. We did watch Walking Dead and stuff like that, but we were always kind of like yapping during it. And, I was just hearing my mom thirst over Andrew Lincoln, which I thought was just hilarious. But, Um, you know, it's the sweetest thing in the world, though. Really, um, just just seeing my mom get excited about seeing Andrew Lincoln on the screen, and just like hearing her talk about him and stuff like that. That's like, it's a little thing, but you know, those things become huge memories later in life. And I'm really grateful to have spent all that time with my family and to have lived this life. And I'm just grateful for all of you guys, you know, just making this an amazing experience, seeing your comments, being able to share my life with you, being able to share my music with you. And you know, this is my favorite passion, my favorite hobby. And you know, even if we got monetized and for some reason got demonetized, I would always, you know, reapply for monetization. But um, I would still do it, you know, even if it was for free. And I would support it with my job or whatever income source that I had to get, you know, because I love what I do. And I love sharing this with you guys. But that's pretty much me just wrapping it up. I appreciate you guys, and yeah, I'll see you.